Hello guys, this is Atul from Be Practical Tech Solution. So today again I come up with some new question based on array. So let's try to understand the question and find out the solution, how we can able to solve it. So here the question is like we are given one array. So we have to find out the maximum that maximizes the sum of the value of I into array of I. So basically what we have to do here is like we have to find out all the possible combinations, not combinations, I should suggest, like, because we have to add the elements. So what we can do is like, let's say, for example, as per the question is required, if I have this given array, so what is going to be the sum here? So as based on this I into the array of I. So let's say that it is going to be 8 multiplied by 0 when the value of I is 0. Then we have to, in the next iteration, we have to add the 3 into multiplied by 1, right? Then again, it is going to be 1 into multiplied by 2 plus then 2 into multiplied by 3. So like that only, we have to find out the sum. So what are the different possible combinations we can have? So what we can do is like, in order to get the different kind of combinations, we can rotate this array one element every time. Now the question is like, how many times we have to rotate? So we can easily get it out, like, for example, if I'm going to rotate it by 1 bit, so it is going to be 2, then 8, then 2, 8, 3, and 1. This is a one combination. One combination is already been given. And then if I'm going to again rotate it, it is going to be 1, 2, then 8, and 3. Okay, and one more possible combination is going to be 3, 1, then 2, and 8. Like that only we can rotate it. Now you can see this, there is no other possible combinations are possible. Mean to say that after rotation, this is like that many times we are going to get the rotated array. So I can say that the rotation is going to depend on the number of elements, because if I'm going to rotate it again, it will come on the same position, right? If I'm going to further, I'm going to rotate it, it is going to become as 8, 3, then 1, and then 2, which is nothing but the original array, right? So what we can do is like, instead of again going for the same repeated array, what we can do is like, we can see here the number of elements what we have in the array, that many times we can rotate this array, right? So if I have a 4 elements, so, or one more thing I can do is like, I can already use this one, and after that the remaining 3 possible rotations I will use, right? That is also we can do that. Or directly we can make it as like, we can start the counter with a value 4, that is the length of an array, and until it reaches to greater than 0, then I can rotate it. So both are the possible ways that we can find out the rotated array. Now next, what we have to do, once we are getting any of the rotated array, so we have to find out the sum at each location here. So here also I need to get the sum, here also I need to get the sum, here also I need to get the sum. Now once I got all these sums from these different arrays, then only I have to find out the maximum among that one. So what we can do is like, when we are getting the sum of all these possible rotated array, then what we can do is like, we are going to store the sum in the list, and then we can easily sort the list and get the maximum value which is present at the end of the list. So this is what we can, the basic approach we can apply here. So let's start at how we can solve this using this approach. So what we can do is like, let me create one function here, public, and then static. And since it is going to return me the maximum element, I'm going to write the name as a maxsum. Okay, and here I'm going to pass the array. Okay, so now here what we can do is like, let's say I'm going to, first I'm going to create one list. Okay, why? Because I want to store the data here in it. So I can have the list of integer. New array list. Control-Shift-O to import the package java.util.list. And now after that, what we can do, let's create one counter variable. Counter, this, the value of this counter is going to be the length of that array. One second. Yeah. So now it means that many times I have to repeat the rotation. For a time being, let's make this one as a void. After that, at the end, we can change it to the integer type. Okay. Now here, this will give me that how many times I have to need to rotate. So while here, if counter is greater than 0, and then every time I have to counter minus minus, so that I can minimize the value. Now here I have to rotate it. So for the rotation, there is again a simple way. What we can do is like we will create one variable which is going to have the element at the end position, array dot length -1. Okay, now I'm going to iterate for int I is equals to array dot length -1. Okay, then I should be less than 0, or here, yes, should be less than 0, then I minus minus. And here what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this element at the element present at the I -1 position to the I position, array of I -1, like this. Fine. And now after that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the data at the index position 0, the value which is present at the last position. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to list down all the possible sub-arrays. So I mean, like after rotation, what are the possible array we can get? So I'm going to add all of them. One second. Yeah. Oops. So I'm going to add all of them here inside this ARR list dot not array. One sec. Here what we can do is like, because already I have the list for the integers, so let me call the function here and then going to add it. So here what we can do, get, let's say get sum is the function I'm going to create, and here I'm going to pass the array. So now let me create this, create a method as a get sum. Now this function is going to return me the integer value, the sum. Let me remove all this. I'm going to write like int sum is equals to 0. Simply I'm just getting the sum of all those elements. So for int I equals to 0, whatever the array we are passing here, I less than array dot length, and then I plus plus. And here what we have to do, we have to write the sum is equals to sum plus, put it inside the bracket as per the mechanical formula which has been given at the top, I into array of I, right? So we are going to use the same one multiplied by array of I. Now once I get the sum, I have to return the same value. Okay, so all the possible rotations are going to be added in this get sum one by one. It is going to call this function, and every time it is going to reduce the counter value. And once I'm getting this one, I'm going to call the collections dot sort, so that I will get the maximum element in the all the elements in the increasing order. I will sort this list, and at the end what I can do, I can return, now after getting the list. So list dot get, and the index position is going to be the list dot size minus 1. This is going to be my maximum element. So here, instead of void now, let's make this one as an int type. And now what we can do, we can call this function from here. And here the function name is maxim. And here I'm going to pass the array. So now let's save it. And run the code. So now we are getting the value as a 29. So we can check this one also, that what are the possible values we are getting as a array. So for that one, we can, let's say, here, or whatever the value it is returning, if I want to print that one based on adding. So let me check it manually also if I have to check. So 8 into, that is going to be 8 multiplied by 0 plus 3 multiplied by 1, then plus 1 multiplied by 2, then plus 2 multiplied by 2. So it will give me as a 0 plus 3 plus 2, that is 5 plus 4, that is 9, right? So here it will give me as output 0 plus 8 plus 6 plus 3, that will be equals to 17. Okay, here 0 plus 2 ones are 2, that is 2, plus then 8 multiplied by 2, that is 16. So plus 16 here, and then plus 3 to the 6. And the 0, 1, 2, 3, 3 3s are 9, right? So that will equals to 18, 9, 27. Okay, and one more is, let's say 0 plus 1 plus 4 plus 24, that is equals to 29. So you can see here from these 29, 27, 17 and 9, 29 is the maximum, and that's what we are getting here. So this is the way we can code it. This is the very simplest way that we can get the maximum sum from the after the rotation of the array, and hope understand the concept. See you in another day. Thank you.